Hey, Brad Burud here with Flames Unfiltered. Time for a Flames Unfiltered Shorts after Game 3 of Round 1 of the Western Conference Stanley Cup playoffs. Flames lose to the Dallas Stars tonight 4-2 in a frustrating game for the Flames. I didn't think I'd be here talking to you down 2-1 in the first round of the Dallas Stars, but that's where we're at. And more puzzling was just how it all played out today. Radulov, a healthy scratch for the Stars, which surprised me. The Flames went with the same lineup as they did in Game 1 and Game 2, which did not surprise me. Game started out, Dallas, great crowd in Dallas. I'll give them that. They were loud right from the get-go tonight. Matthew Tkachuk fights Klingberg just a minute and a half into the game again tonight. And here I'm going to vent a little bit about Matthew Tkachuk. As much as I love when he's engaged, and we talked about this on our last show, Matthew Tkachuk's better when he's taking the other team off their game. And I feel like Matthew Tkachuk has been completely owned by Klingberg. He's completely taken him off his game. We have a 40-goal scorer sitting in the penalty box while we get a power play tonight because he wanted to settle a score. There's a lot of games and a lot of time to settle scores. 0-0, a minute and a half into a critical Game 3 is not the time to settle a score. He's completely taken off of his game and has been completely ineffective. I'm frustrated with it. Leaders don't do that. This is a guy that has been talked about as to be a captain, a guy who wants $9 million plus. How do you justify that? He's getting owned in the playoffs mentally. He's much better than this, and hopefully in Game 4 will be better than this. Faxas scores on a tip on a Lundell shot. Dallas goes up 1-0. And then the controversy happens when Trevor Lewis bangs home a rebound on Jake Ottinger to tie the game 1-1 late in the first. Lucic ran into Ottinger. I think the Flames got away with one here. He was a little bit outside of the crease, not much. Very questionable call. Dallas challenged it, lost the challenge, ended up getting a penalty from that. The Flames were completely ineffective on that power play. But that's beside the point in the fact that the goal counted. I did not think it would count right away. I said, no, it won't count. A lot of people in Flames Twitter didn't think it was going to count. Interesting to see what the panel on Sportsnet said, where a lot of them thought that it would count based off previous instances where the goalie was a foot out of the crease. I thought he was out of the crease. I thought Lucic tried to avoid it, but I still think he got enough contact and enough of Ottinger was in the crease. That's beside the point. The Flames needed that goal, obviously, and I'm glad they got it. We went into the second 1-1. Tkachuk hits the post on a C&I shot, which is a great play. Early on in the second, puck comes back around. Tkachuk gets it over to Gaudreau. Gaudreau to Lindholm. Lindholm bangs it home from his office in the slot there, where he's money there. The guy is money there, and a good play by that first line. Something we haven't seen this series. So they go ahead and everything looks great. I think there was numerous times right after that I thought Calgary was going to take that step, get a 2-goal lead and take charge. And it just didn't happen. A turnover would happen, the puck would go the other way, and it just didn't happen. Unfortunately, later on it gets tied. There was a horrible hit on Anderson, which I thought he was going to be injured. Faxa hit him. I thought it was worse and more flagrant. Initially, when I first saw the live, I thought, holy cow, that was a horrible penalty. When I watched the replay, it was a shoulder to shoulder where Anderson fell awkwardly face first into the boards. Still deserved a penalty because Anderson is skating in a line and he has as much right to that area. So I see the interference call. I did think it was supposed to, I was freaking initially. Not as bad as I thought, though. Thank goodness Anderson was okay after that one. Then Markstrom makes a 10-bell save. Miro Heiskanen, and I thought, holy, there's a game-saving save. Puck comes around still. Defense is scrambling, and Pavelski scores to tie it 2-2, and that's where everything changed. Right after that, Jamie Benn slew foots Tanev. No call on that. Things keep happening in Dallas Stars' favor, and momentum really gets on their side. We're 2-2 after 2. In the third, I thought it was pretty back and forth. I felt like Calgary maybe held play a little bit better. Didn't like the rebounds Markstrom was giving out, but I'm not putting any of this on Markstrom because he made some really, really critical saves tonight. Coleman takes a slashing call on Pavelski, and Coleman's frustrated me this whole playoffs with his penalties and just, I don't know, he just doesn't look like, okay, it looks like, okay, we've all noticed that the officials are calling more penalties and calling more of the ticky-tack stuff, but Coleman's still in, playoff mode from last year and the year before that, where a lot more of that was getting let go, and he has not made that adjustment yet, and it's haunting us. It haunted us tonight. He's in the penalty box. Pavelski scores the game winner, and that can't happen. It cannot happen. Coleman cannot take that penalty. That part's very frustrating. Empty net goal was added. Gaudreau had a breakaway chance with 5 minutes to go. Didn't score. Superstars need to score. Gaudreau's been invisible this whole series, just like I predicted early on in the season. He proved me wrong in the regular season. I said, well, prove it to me in the playoffs. And I'm starting to look more. I apologized over and over for calling out Gaudreau and saying he wasn't a superstar in this league, and then he goes out and has the regular season that he does, and now it's a complete disappearing act in the playoffs. He looks scared. He looks tentative. He doesn't look like a superstar out there. This is a guy that wants $9+ million, I'm guessing, and a long-term extension. And I'm sorry, I want to win Stanley Cups in Calgary. And I think Johnny Gaudreau is a great hockey player, but I want to win a Stanley Cup. And he's not a player that gets you through in the playoffs. Now, I hope to hell he proves me wrong in Game 4 and Game 5. But if he doesn't prove me wrong in Game 4 and Game 5, we won't need a Game 6. Because superstars need to produce. Superstars need to score. And we're not getting it from anybody other than Lindholm. We're not. Our depth score, our second line's not, Backlund's not scoring. Majapani's not putting it in. We're not getting it from Toffoli's been, Monahan would be more productive than Toffoli's been in this playoffs. Dubé, I think, has been good. We're just missing a lot. When every night I look at Trevor Lewis and I feel like he's got the best chance to score, that's not a recipe for success. And that's not a knock on Trevor Lewis. It's just that that's not why we have him here. Monday night's game is going to tell us a bunch about this franchise. Calgary loses this one. They're one game away from another first-round elimination with a team that won the Pacific Division and steamrolled numerous teams all year. Monday night's franchise-defining game for this organization. Some of these superstars don't step up and produce, and we don't get some depth scoring. There'll be a lot of changes. A lot of changes. And a lot of guys not re-signing here. Do I think the Flames can do it Monday night? Yeah, for sure I do. It's been a back and forth tight series. I fully think they can. But you can't help Flames fans for being pessimistic on this, because that's what we've been taught, is that the stars on this team don't rise to the occasion. And again, we're in another playoffs and we're down again in a first round series and our stars are nowhere to be found. These guys need to step up, need to produce, and get this team back on track. Because you know what? As good as our regular season was, it absolutely means nothing if we don't get through this first round. Check out Flames Unfiltered this week. Great episode. We're going to have some guests on the show. Lots to break down. Hopefully some good news. A Monday night win gets us tied back up before we get back on Flames Unfiltered on our regular weekly shows. Hopefully you're liking these Flames Unfiltered shorts throughout the playoffs. Big game Monday night. I don't even know any other way to describe it. Tonight was big. That's mammoth on Monday night, and it's time to see goal production, and it's time to see the Calgary Flames we saw all regular season.